Today, the former doctor accused of drugging and sexually assaulting nearly a dozen women heard from some of his victims in court. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Lewis.
And I'm Marshall Zellinger. Any moment now, Stephen Matthews will find out how long he'll spend in prison. 9 News reporter Jeremy Hohola has been covering this case over the last year and a half, and you've been in court as the victims call for the maximum sentence, Jeremy.
Yeah, this could come down any minute. Right now, prosecutors are asking for the maximum sentence here, and that is 204 years in prison based on the 35 convictions that happened over this summer. This is a massive criminal case that has unfolded over the last year and a half since Stephen Matthews was arrested. Prosecutors have labeled him a calculated, methodical, and serial rapist. Investigators say he would meet women on dating apps, take them to his home where he would give them drinks that were drugged. The women would then lose their memory, but when they would wake up, they knew something was wrong. This case is based on the accounts of 11 women. However, prosecutors have said in court there are likely dozens of more victims. Here's what one of the victims said in court today.
PTSD was real. It wasn't until about January 2023 that I realized and just finally accepted that I was drugged by you. I let your actions eat me alive for years. I never told my therapist that I was working with too, because I never wanted to say out loud that I was drugged and sexually taken advantage of. And I allowed your actions to take away my freedom and my freedom to live in a positive mental state.
The mother of Stephen Matthews also took to the podium today to speak out for her son, saying she hopes that he receives some sort of therapy in prison. Again, prosecutors asking for the maximum here. That's 204 years. That could come down any minute now. I'm going to head back into the court, and if this happens during the 5 o'clock newscast, we'll bring it back to you. Live in downtown Denver, Jeremy Hohola, 9 News.
All right, Jeremy, get back in there. Thank you very much.
Might have taken a little longer than we anticipated, but Denver finally had its first freeze this morning. Technically speaking, it did drop to 32 degrees this morning at DIA, but it didn't really get that cold in Central Park or downtown Denver. You blinked, you missed it. I didn't quite catch the freeze, did you?
I did not, because I'm part of the team that thinks the weather station should be in Central Park and not DIA. Thank you for joining my TED Talk, Corey Reppahagen.
You know, I'm right on there with you. It would be great to have that move closer to the city, but it does not look like that's going to happen anytime soon. You know, the Denver's weather conditions on one single day can vary so greatly that it doesn't matter where you put that station in Denver. It's not going to represent us all, but at least climate-wise, they do represent us. So we do have a little bit of a warm, dry forecast here for the next few days. This little bit of a trough of low pressure can kind of make it out. That delivered the cold front. We're going to stay warm and dry over the next 3 days. So if you like summer conditions, you'll have that in the forecast. And if you like winter conditions, you'll have that too. That 32-degree temperature that we hit at DIA, we haven't seen that in 191 days, at least at Denver International Airport. The rest of us will get that freeze. Look at these current temperatures, though, really rebounded nicely into the middle 60s still at this hour. We're watching that warm weekend. I'll tell you about that coming up in the forecast. Elevated fire danger will come with that, some breezy conditions and some dry air. And we also have winter in this fall forecast for you. Storm system will come in on Tuesday and impact your day on Tuesday and Wednesday. Potentially some snow in the Denver metro area and the rest of the Front Range. I'll talk about that coming up in the forecast.
All right, Corey, thanks. You know, Longmont police have arrested a Morrison police officer who's accused of domestic violence and child abuse. The officer had previously been in trouble while working at another department and was recommended for termination there.
Tonight, 9 News investigates after the Morrison police chief had to explain to the state why he wanted the officer on his force. Here's Kevin Vaughn.
Cops use handcuffs to arrest suspects, but Longmont police accuse Morrison officer Richard Norton of using cuffs to commit child abuse. According to an arrest warrant obtained by 9 News Investigates, it appears Norton handcuffed his 2 kids tight enough to cause pinch marks on their wrists as punishment. The affidavit raises other concerns about Norton, saying he told the children how he would break into his ex's home to kill her and her husband. And it asserts that Norton once said he wanted to murder someone so he could see what it felt like. 9 News Investigates dug into Norton's law enforcement career. Handcuffs have come up as an issue before. This video is from 2020, when he worked for Broomfield Police. After an arrest, a woman escaped from Norton's car, and he was determined to find his handcuffs.
Where'd the other cuffs go? Threw them off. Where?
After he eventually found her, he told her he wasn't using department-issued cuffs.
You have to pay for your handcuffs?
Yeah, those were my personal ones.
Broomfield reprimanded him for the arrest and also found he sent inappropriate and unwanted messages of a sexual nature to 4 co-workers. They accused Norton of creating an intimidating, hostile, and offensive work environment. Norton resigned in 2022 before he could be fired. Because of that, Morrison's chief needed to explain to the state why he was hiring the officer. In a January 3, 2023 letter, Chief Bill Vanelli wrote, "The information we have gathered does not preclude him from being a good fit as an officer for our department." When called today, Chief Vanelli said he had no comment. We left a message for Norton's attorney, but we haven't heard back. He's due back in court November 11th for arraignment. As the criminal case plays out, the chief tells us that he has suspended Norton without pay. Live in the newsroom, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
Kevin, real quickly, I know we've talked about these cases in the past. There's really nothing that can stop someone from leaving and quitting a job while they're under investigation. You can't hold them and be like, whoa, 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 you can't leave this job till we're done, right?
Right, they can't say you can't quit because I'm going to fire you, but they do have to report cases like that when someone's been recommended to termination to the State Peace Officers Standards and Training Board, and that's what happened here.
I don't know if I want to know more about why someone's using personal cuffs instead of station-issued cuffs, but thank you for this report, Kevin. The number of E. coli cases stemming from McDonald's Quarter Pounder burgers has grown. The CDC now says 75 people in 13 states have reported getting sick after eating at McDonald's. McDonald's says California-based Taylor Farms is the source of potentially tainted onions on those burgers. Taylor Farms has recalled its onions, but told Bloomberg it has not found any traces of E. coli. While the investigation continues, McDonald's has stopped using the onions and pulled the Quarter Pounders off restaurant menus in impacted states, along with some of those other fast food chains that you saw pop on the screen, Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut. Today, a Nebraska woman says she's suing McDonald's after eating a Quarter Pounder and getting sick at the end of September. This comes after a Greeley man became the first to file a lawsuit against McDonald's earlier this week. Costco now says it is recalling certain chicken and salmon products due to listeria concerns. The affected products include the Kirkland Signature Smoked Salmon and Reina brand chicken. Costco says it's released the details to customers in a recall letter nearly 2 weeks ago. So if you have any of the affected products, toss them out. If you want to keep them, try to get them returned for a refund. You can do that too. So far, there have been no confirmed reports of illnesses linked to that recall.